All right, buddy, what's
Well,
up?
not a whole lot. How you doing?
Pretty good. What are you? Who are you? What's her background?
I'm just a guy who lives in the state.
All right, what's up? Wait, in my state? What state is the state?
I live in California.
Oh, okay. Well, what's up,
Let me
my dude?
read this. So, I have a little bit of an issue with some of the stuff you're saying in regards to police. Like my understanding is that regardless of whether or not what a cop is asking you to do is legal or illegal, you are compelled to comply because they are the police. I mean, like if they're asking you to rob a bank, clearly, or do anything that's like super like out there, but you're
Why would
like,
I be
let's say a
compelled to
cop
do what a
asks you for
cop?
your ID.
Why would I be compelled to do what a cop asks me to do? He doesn't have power over me.
I'm This is going to be difficult to explain, but I mean, like, so when you say like they have the reasonable expectation for you to do something, like if they say, "Oh, well, we pulled you over because you were speeding, or
Mm-hmm.
because your tail light is out, or we're stopping you on the street right now because you're loitering, or we want to see your ID, or we believe you're a suspect in a crime."
Yeah.
That all sounds very vague to me, or not all
No,
of it
no, no, no,
sounds
no, no.
very
That's not vague at all. If a police officer
well.
pulls you over for speeding or accuses you of loitering or committing any sort of crime, then at that point, you can consider yourself detained and the cop can request ID for sure.
Let me rephrase that. So one of the so if let's say I'm walking around a mall or something, right? And the
Okay.
cop says like, "Yo, let me see your ID." Like, and they say, "We believe you to be loitering." And like I furnish my ID. They could basically give you any reason, right? Like that's not
Well, they could, but if you think that reasoning is bullshit, maybe you could take them to court later. But they at least should have to give that reasoning. But I don't think most police officers will do that. I think most of them will just fuck off. If an officer walks up to you and is like, I want to see your ID," and you're like, "Dude, no," and he's like, "Okay, well, I think you're loitering." Like, no, fuck off. I mean, at that point, you would probably have to because they're accusing you of a crime. But like, I think you could file a complaint or do something, and the cop would probably get in trouble for doing that. Most of the videos that I've seen where people challenge the cops and shit like that, usually the cop ends up leaving unless they're like have committed a crime. I guess it's possible he could like try to make up a charge on the spot, but he still has to give that charge to ask for the ID legally.
that doesn't sound well. I mean, but either way, you would still have to supply your ID and then take it up with the magistrate at some other point, like
Sure,
later
but
down
but
the
but
road.
but now he's made like an accusation of a crime or whatever. Like that's a different thing now. Like that I can complain about that, right?
Well, yeah, you could, but ultimately it's still their word versus yours, right? Like, oh, I believe this person be loitering, or this person matches the description of something. Like, it still comes across as like very shaky logic to me because it's like
Well, hold on, no, 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 no,
they
no, no,
could
no, wait,
be
wait, 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 no, no, because this is like you're wrong on like a really fundamental level, okay? And it really bothers me that a lot of people miss this, okay? Police officers are here to facilitate the law, okay? If an officer exists somewhere, he's there to make sure that the public remains safe, that nobody's breaking the law. That's it. An officer doesn't have this inalienable right to walk around and ask people for their IDs. That's fundamentally bullshit, and it's very, very, very like un-American. That's not how that's supposed to work. We have the right to travel without people just stopping us and asking us for our IDs. That's bullshit. The idea that a cop can just walk over and now, realistically, maybe there are some ways that could play that out. But yeah, if a random cop like asks for your ID, you sure as hell could say fuck no or what? Why am I accused of a crime or some shit? And at least make him like force him to like try to accuse you of some shit. Like there's a difference there. There's a fundamental difference between forcing him to accuse you of a crime versus just like, oh yes sir, yes master, here's my ID master, yes cop, please don't beat me up, please don't shoot me, please don't kill me. Like no, I totally disagree with you.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's fine to disagree, but the issue that I have is like, regardless of is like an inalienable right for me to be able to walk around and not be harassed by cops. That doesn't mean that it doesn't still happen.
Sure, and it can happen. And honestly, depending on the cop and where I'm at, I would probably give my ID anyway because I don't want to get, depending on where I'm at or with the fucking cop's mood, sure. But like, there's a difference between like pragmatically this might play out this way in certain situations versus like if a guy says no, I'm not going to give you an ID, like it should be his right to do so, right? Like if you're complying with police officers to show an ID for some reason, like that's on you. That's not like a requirement. And if you do say no or you do tell them to fuck off, they shouldn't be able to arrest you for that or tell you to stop or whatever, or make up some bullshit or whatever for no reason.
Let's say I'm fairly certain that in a lot of, or not a lot, but in some states, it's you're required to furnish ID.
I don't
Like
think you are.
like in New York, for instance, when they were doing a lot of the Terry stops,
Like
or
the stop.
excuse me, stop and frisk.
Yeah, but I think they got rid of that. But sure. But what about it?
So in instances like that, if you're coming from out of state and you don't know what the law is, like they can still arrest you. Like if you're refusing to furnish ID.
I would have to. I don't think that law exists anymore. But I mean, yeah, it's your responsibility to look up the laws of the states that you visit. You should hopefully be familiar with some state laws if you're going somewhere. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's ultimately the only point that I had to make.
Okay. I don't think that the giving cops unlimited power to just like stop and ID anybody they want. I think that's bullshit. You should at least force them to make up a charge or make up a crime or something if that's what they have to do, and then that gives you more to complain about later too, if you decide to.
Yeah, but not everybody really has the means to go toe to toe with cops, right? Like if a cop stops me and asks me for my ID, I I'm just gonna give them my ID and then just move on with my day. Like, do I agree that that should be the case? No, absolutely not. But I mean, like, is it gonna be worth the trouble for me to be stopped there for another half hour while this cop tells me like, "Yo, you were loitering," or "Yo, I thought I saw you jaywalking"? And it's easier for me to just give them my ID.
Are you a black dude or?
Yes, yes, I am.
So I like. Okay, listen up, dude. Okay, I'm gonna make you the destiny promise. Okay, if a cop stops you and you're genuinely walking nowhere and no bullshit is happening, and he just stops up and he asks you for your ID, okay, and you tell him no, and he makes up like a loitering charge or some bullshit, I'll give you $1,000 to pay for like a bullshit like traffic lawyer, whatever, like lawyer to like take that bullshit charge to court to try to get it thrown out or whatever to get the cop in trouble. I will donate $1,000 to your legal fund if that happens, because nothing is sadder to me. I'm not black, okay, so I can't necessarily empathize, and I'm very white. I'm half Cuban, but I look white and everything, right? But like the idea that you think it's okay for you to walk around as a black guy completely cucked in the country you live in is total bullshit to me. I don't think that just because you're black, you should accept that, well, cops are just going to walk up and harass me, and that's just part of my life. Like, you're an American just as much as any other white person is in the country, and you shouldn't accept a lower standard of treatment from law enforcement just because of the way you look. Like, those are your constitutional rights, too, as of whenever the fucking 14th Amendment or whatever was passed. So, I mean, I think that's crazy that you would accept that. I think it's like really, if you get shot or killed or something, I'll donate $1,000 to your funeral if that happens too.
Jesus Christ. Well, though I do appreciate it.
What part of Cali? You don't live in like Oakland or some shit, do you?
No, I live in San Diego.
Okay, yeah, San Diego. Okay, so you probably won't get shot. Yeah. So yeah, like I just that's like really sad to me that just because the last guy that I talked to was like the same thing. Like if you're black, that you think that like, well, this is just how I have to live in America, and pragmatically in some places it is, but I think that shit should be fought against as much as possible because the Constitution, as of today, impacts everybody equally in the U.S. Like just because you're black doesn't mean you have to deal with cops stopping you everywhere and pulling you over and asking for your ID and shit for no reason.
Well, I mean, just there's of course the way that things should operate and how things actually do operate. Like I was watching your stream yesterday, I believe, and it was like the white dude who was walking around with a gun on his hip, and he was walking towards the cop car. And I was just like, Jesus, like this is the side of America that I see on YouTube and stuff that doesn't like. How would that cross the mind of any person like that would be all right? Like you're walking up to a cop car with the gun holstered on your hip out in the open, and things just operate differently for different people in different parts of the US. I mean, like I would never do that, and I would never encourage anybody else to do that, but like some people it works, some people it doesn't, and that's just how life is.
Well, so you got to be. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and pragmatically, the way things play out can be different. But like, in terms of that's just the way life is, like that's a pretty sad way to kind of throw away some of your most important constitutional rights. You know?
I mean, the Constitution's not going to give a shit if I get shot by a cop in the street.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're depending on where you are, like, I'm not gonna tell you to like make quick movements and scare the fuck out of the cop and claim that it's. But in terms of something basic, like you get stopped for no reason and a cop is asking for your ID, like I think you should defend your rights there to not have to give it to him unless he charges you formally with a crime.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, buddy. I love you. Be careful.
Have a good one, dude.
If a cop ever stops you, okay, I'm serious. Okay, I will give you $1,000 towards a lawyer to try to fight. Usually, I know that traffic lawyers are pretty cheap. I don't know like a lawyer for something as basic as this would be expensive. Like you really should fight that, okay? And then we'll stream it all and it'll be awesome, all right, buddy?
All right, sure thing, man.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good luck, dude.